Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 6 things we learned from Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. Chelsea are beaten at Stamford Bridge. It's 4 games without a win in the Premier League. 2 games in a row that we've been beaten, and I would say that the nature of the way we were beaten yesterday is similar to the scoreline battering that we got at Brighton. To lose 4-1 away at Brighton, you kind of look at the score and you think, well, yeah, Chelsea had an off day. Brighton must have played well. We conceded 4 times. But yesterday against Arsenal, Arsenal didn't really need to be that great because Chelsea, pathetic, quite simply. I don't think we offered anything in that game yesterday. There was no fight, no determination. Before I get into the boxes in this probably very negative video, I've managed to pick out 2 things I liked. I want to point you guys in the direction of last week's Last Fan Standing episode. Link is in the description. We were discussing clubs that we hate, clubs that we don't like, and Manchester City, why they're irrelevant. So if you want to go and hear me talk negatively about a different club, check this clip and check the link below. For Chelsea, people seem to think that it was only when Abramovich came in that we did anything, but that's not actually true. Even before that, we were still playing in the Champions League, winning FA Cups. But Man City is kind of just like out of nowhere. We had to all just think about yet another team doing something decent. So I think as much as it's annoying that they still seem to win everything, and they will probably continue to win everything for a significant period of time, to see them win stuff doesn't trigger me as much as it would, say, how you would celebrate, Flav, if you do win a Carabao Cup. I think I'd still be more annoyed with you than I am at Boovy for celebrating another City Premier League, you know what I mean? But other than that, I've got nothing really positive to say about Chelsea Football Club. We're going to go straight into the boxes here with box number 1 as a red for set-piece defending. When that corner comes in, there are so many players in the Chelsea box that could have dealt with this corner. Arsenal were basically queuing up as Chelsea watched the ball come flying over, and in the end it's Gabriel who puts it in the back of the net from about 1.5 yards out. There was no commanding of the box from Edouard Mendy. There was no one willing to go up and actually put in the effort to take claim of defending the ball. Chelsea looked at 6s and 7s. Every time Gabriel Jesus or Martinelli or Saka was running at the Chelsea defenders, we looked scared. Yes, we can sit here and talk about excuses such as Reece James isn't available, Koulibaly's not available, Fofana's not available, Ben Chilwell not available. Those are 4 players that you could easily put into a Chelsea starting 11. Yes, we don't have those players, but surely we have got to put some kind of blame on the tactical preparation. When that ball goes in, it didn't look like anybody was ready to know that we've got to attack the ball to get rid of it. Arsenal are a team in incredible form right now. And it was difficult last night to watch a game like this where, realistically, we could have lost 5-0 and no one would have said that Arsenal didn't deserve it. Arsenal's finishing was poor. Chelsea's finishing, well, you can't finish anything if you don't make or create anything. So that was our problem yesterday. But set-piece defending, it's a shambolic attempt of defending that corner, and that is the goal that wins Arsenal the game. Box number 2, Thiago Silva is a green. I've got to speak about the positives that I saw. I was watching the game in the pub with Josh and Guy. You guys know it. I was getting absolutely abused. There was more Arsenal fans than there were Chelsea fans, but universally around the table amongst the beers, Thiago Silva was absolutely brilliant. He looked like the only real player yesterday for Chelsea who had any organisational awareness positionally. Now, he made big blocks in the first half. He looked as though he was trying to progress the ball forward with passing in a game where Chelsea's overall passing yesterday was just atrocious. Time after time, we get the ball and we're giving it no way near a man. We're getting forward, putting crosses in that are more like shots, but they're going out for throw-ins. And yet there's still nobody in the box. How many times have we heard this? But Thiago Silva, with the blocks, at least progressive attempts with the passing, is box number 2. Box number 3, Graham Potter gets a red. Yesterday, there isn't really much we can do when it comes to trying to play 3 at the back. Chelsea have got so many injuries. We go with a 4, but it doesn't look as though the players know what we were supposed to be doing out there. The gaps between players when Arsenal are swarming forwards, when Arsenal are pressing the way they do, you've got right-backs so far up the field for Arsenal, whereas Chelsea, everything was scattergun. Everything that we did, we're trying to pass into spaces, but there are Arsenal players in those spaces because Chelsea players weren't close enough together to be able to string triangles together, to be able to get out of difficult situations where Thomas Partey's pressuring to win the ball back for Arsenal, which they successfully did over and over again. And I think, as well as that, the substitutions, yes, Aubameyang wasn't getting a sniff, but it brings on Armando Broja, who does look a bit brighter, does look as though he's got a bit more about him in terms of trying to get in behind the Arsenal back line. But I think overall, what we've been seeing in recent games from Potter is predictability. Whereas when we look at what was successful from Potter at Brighton, it was the unpredictable nature. And at the moment, yes, we are being predictable with the way we're playing. And I think the substitutions are often a bit like for like with players that are out of form who aren't able to come on because maybe they're not good enough to come on and make a difference for Chelsea. And I think what Potter needs to do is stop trying to change things and really go for the style that he sees for the future. As much as we understand that we've got to go out and spend money on new players, better players, we've already spent a fortune. Yes, I keep bringing it back to injuries, but I think instead of changing formations as frequently as we are, everything that Potter does from now on needs to be putting this Chelsea team out there in the image and style that it is he wants to go for with this long-term project that we're being told so much about. And at the moment, I'm not confident with it. Now, box number 4, I've given another green to Jorginho, which I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this. There was a lot of sideways passing, a lot of passing backwards as well. But I think Jorginho yesterday was one of the only players who I seem to see trying to work hard to get the ball back. There was no urgency in this Chelsea performance yesterday, and I think we could easily scapegoat numerous players. But when it's a London derby, when you're playing against one of your biggest rivals, when you know with 3 games without a win going into this game, Chelsea needed to turn it around. We didn't get anywhere close to turning this game around yesterday, and I picked Jorginho because he was one of the only players who I actually saw fighting to win the ball back. And at the moment, this is the biggest problem that I have with this Chelsea team. When we look at what made us successful, we look at what we're used to. Yes, we are used to Cech, Terry, Ashley Cole, Lampard, Drogba, a proper spine of players who knew what it was to be Chelsea. At the moment, we don't have a spine. Chelsea need to go and buy a Declan Rice, someone who can be an anchor, a cornerstone for this Chelsea team. Yes, Jorginho gets a green box in this one, but cohesively, as one big unit, did I see enough fight? Did I see enough passion and determination to even go at Arsenal yesterday? Absolutely not. Box number 5 is a red for Aubameyang. Now, he didn't get into the game whatsoever. There was a moment in the first half where he gets booked where he could have easily got a red card. And I think that what we saw yesterday, and the reason why Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is my red box, is because for Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus is that player when, even if he's not scoring the goals, he's at least fighting and getting other players involved in the game. And I think Aubameyang yesterday could have used this game to springboard what has been an average start to life in a Chelsea shirt. And instead of that, I feel as though the occasion got to him in more of a negative way. And I think a lot of that has also got to do with the way we set out, the way that we're trying to press, the way that we deliver the ball between one another, the way that we're trying to integrate different patterns of play. There is nothing that I'm seeing from this Chelsea team at the moment. Aubameyang goes off at the 60th minute, goes off after an hour. And again, I bring it back. If Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is our striker and you're losing at home to Arsenal, you bring on another striker. You don't take him off. But yesterday, he didn't do anything. So the fact he got taken off isn't a surprise. Box number 6 is a red for fight. That is the reason we didn't win yesterday. Arsenal were not brilliant. They were brilliant at doing the simple things. They didn't have to be brilliant. That's the main thing. And if Chelsea would have turned up with the same energy that we did when we played Spurs earlier this season, we could have given Arsenal a better game yesterday. But they go away with a 1-0 win, and all we can say is Arsenal managed the game perfectly. Chelsea never got involved. We had one team shot on target from Kai Havertz at home to Arsenal. We were dominated all over the field. It was shocking. I'm fuming. Last night, I didn't want to do the video after the game. I went out. I went and enjoyed myself because I didn't enjoy the football. And the Arsenal boys were paying. Very, very kind of them. But at the end of the day, this is a very worrying result. I'm worried about the way we're playing. I'm worried about the lack of goals. The severe lack of goals in this team. And I'm worried about our inability and ineptness in defence. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this 6 Things We Learned video. I know it's another negative one. I'm really not enjoying my football at the moment when it comes to Chelsea. But yeah, let me know your 6 things in the comments down below. Come on, you Blues.